Bizarre things only Americans do. Alright everybody, here's the deal. Americans are weird, and most everyone else knows it but us. Why, you may ask? Well, there are a number of reasons why, an almost unlimited number of them. And while we may not think these things are bizarre, those from elsewhere do. We're here to bring you a list showcasing some of those things, but just a small number. If we showed you everything, you'd probably turn against yourselves and riot against your own way of life. Enough talk, this is bizarre things only Americans do. Number 14. Supersizing. We all know that American portion sizes are entirely out of control, and foreigners don't just find it weird, sometimes they find it sickening. Only in the US do we see an obesity problem that has reached the epic proportions that it has. In other countries, portions are much smaller, and people eat much less. Those from other countries stay closer to the weight they're supposed to be, and you don't see the health issues that we see here. It's easy to size up as well. Restaurants purposefully make the next size only a few cents to a couple of dollars more so that the larger size is ordered over the smaller. Then we see all that food we just wasted money on and don't want to waste it, so we eat it. America has a problem. There was once even a movie made about it. Shout out to you, Morgan Spurlock. Number 13. Vacation. Have you ever wondered why taking vacation seems like such a big deal to Americans? It's planned and planned, prepared for both by the vacationer and the employer, and then taken, sometimes with guilt and anxiety. In many other countries, vacation is taken for weeks and weeks, sometimes even months, and no one even thinks a thing about it. What is it about America and our vacations that makes us so nervous? Well, we don't have any answers for you, but we just wanted to let you know that foreigners find it a bit strange. Vacation is just a part of their lives, typically taken every year, and they enjoy it without hesitation. Let's get on that page, America. Number 12. Obsessive flag flying. Okay, so this is undeniable. Americans love their American flags. Why? Well, obviously, it's our country's flag, and occupants in every nation feel pride toward their respective flags, but Americans seem to get a bit obsessive about it. Flags are flown from houses, trucks, yards, buildings. Flags are put into pins, beer cans, clothing, and even tattoos. Why do Americans have an all-out, in-your-face patriotism mentality? We don't know. What we do know is that some foreigners find it a little strange, and others just find it downright weird. We get it. America is pretty awesome, but we don't have to shove it in everyone's faces every second of every day. Or maybe you do. More power to you? Number 11. Pharmacy overload. No, foreigners don't think that we have too many pharmacies. It's what our pharmacies contain and are made up of that those not from America feel is weird. Think about it. Why do we need everything under the sun in a place like a Walgreens or a CVS? In Europe, people go to a chemist for their medicinal needs and medical supplies, and that's really all that they sell. Walk into a Walgreens and yes, you've got medicine and medical supplies, but you've also got a photo center, food, candy, toys, car accessories, and basically anything else you could think of. Those non-America dwellers find it a bit strange that our pharmacies are basically little shopping malls, and if you really think about it, it is a bit odd, right? Number 10. Refills. Did you know that in a lot of other countries, when one buys a drink while out and about, they only get that one drink because refills are not a thing? Americans take for granted what we have when able to get refill after refill over and over again. That probably doesn't help with America's obesity problem, but hey, it is what it is. Can you even imagine going to a McDonald's or a Burger King and not being able to get refills when you go inside? We know plenty of people who would probably have a fit, and they probably shouldn't travel internationally. Refills. They're strange to others. Number 9. Our money is boring. Have you ever taken a good, hard look at the cash that we use? Why do our bills consist of green, some black, and off-white with a green tint, and that's about it? We're supposedly the center of the overall global economy, right? Well, why can't we have more interesting, less boring bills? Lots of other countries have colorful, fun, and eye-catching cashola, while we sit with basically the same old bills that we've had for decades, with the same old men that have been dead for quite some time. Yes, some are our founding fathers, and others are important people to the United States, but come on, we have to let go and open this cash money up to change. Pun kind of intended. Number 8. Cheerleaders. Did you know that cheerleaders are a strange concept to a lot of foreigners? They may be entirely normal to us, and why wouldn't they be? They help get the crowd pumped up and cheering when our sports teams need it the most. But in other countries, they find the idea of a group of people whose specific job it is to rile up our crowds and support our sports teams plain weird. If you think about it, have you really seen any cheerleaders in matches or games of other countries? Think about the World Cup. Do you see any cheerleaders there cheering on their teams? Not really, no. Interesting to think about. Number 7, restaurants open all night. Who here has gone and gotten pancakes or a burger or any other kind of meal at, say, 3 a.m. before? Yeah, we're probably all guilty of it, especially after a hard night of partying. And we love having the option to go and grab some food at all hours of the night, right? There are cities known for being awake all night, like New York or Las Vegas. But outside of that, in almost all other major cities, 24-hour restaurants can be found too, and foreigners find that surprising. If you've ever been overseas, you might have been surprised to find that there weren't restaurants where you could go and find a quick meal in the middle of the night. But that's how it is. Americans are weird and want what they want when they want it. Number 6, to-go coffee. Okay, so the trend is growing and taking coffee to go is kind of becoming a thing all over. But that's not how things used to be. America was the first country to offer our morning caffeine to go, and for a while at least, many people from all over the world found the practice a bit strange. People from other parts of the world are catching on though, and it's quickly becoming commonplace to quick dip in somewhere and then dip out, coffee in hand. Initially, coffee was meant to be enjoyed at a slow, leisurely pace and over some great, stimulating conversation. Not in your car, all alone, while on your drive to work. America started a trend. A great one, we might add. But it wasn't always trending. We're like too hip to function. Number 5, services that are a little extra. In the United States, it's all but expected for our servers to be there for our every necessity and need. But in other places, that could be seen as quite annoying. Well, when those foreigners make little pit stops over here, they seem to find the constant presence of their servers a little crazy. While 10 minutes without being checked on for most Americans would probably be too long, visitors to the country find it a little extra. Yeah, they may want refills on some of their drinks, but the, "Hey, how's everything tasting?" and the, "Can I get you anything else?" questions can be a bit much. Who would have thought? Number 4, ice in the water. Okay, so this is one thing we've personally experienced by out-of-country travel, and it's totally real. Did you know that Americans really, truly love their ice? We have ice in our water, this is just a necessity, ice in our alcoholic beverages, ice in our non-alcoholic drinks, ice in our orange juice, you're a strange few, and ice in basically everything. Well, in other countries, ice is not as important. It's not a way of life like it is in the United States. You go to a restaurant and get a pitcher of ice, and it's only that, water. We realize we said a pitcher of ice, by the way. That was actually written that way in the first place and left on purpose because that helps to emphasize the point. Us Americans love our ice. Number 3, superstores. Oh boy, there's really nothing Americans love more than their shopping and their superstores. Places like Walmart and Costco, Sam's Club, and Winco offer up basically all the things you need, all in one place. That's why on the weekends, even during the week, we see lines so long that it almost turns one away from checking out. Americans flock to these stores like birds flying south in the winter. It's incredible to see just how dependent we are on our superstores, and to non-Americans, it's bizarre. They just don't understand this obsession with buying things, lots of things, in these giant warehouses filled with stuff. It is a bit odd if you think about it, but it's also a way of life now. It's not everywhere though. We're weird. Number 2, advertised attorneys. In other countries, attorneys don't typically advertise half as much, a quarter as much as they do in America, and thinking about it, it is a bit weird. You'll be just driving around and spot a few advertisements on things like benches and billboards, or you'll be watching TV and watch attorneys pitch themselves or their services, and this just doesn't happen elsewhere. We even come to learn all of the jingles and songs, the slogans and catchphrases of all these attorneys that we don't even know. But in foreign countries, that's just not the deal. So yes, outsiders think it's crazy. We should probably realize that, yeah, maybe it is. Number 1, deep fried everything. While this may be pretty commonplace to most Americans watching this, in other countries they don't deep fry all of the things that we do. Now, we know that may sound strange, like how can one not want to deep fry their Oreos or their butter, right? However, it's not so odd to those foreigners who get here and find a lot of fried options on our menus. Or it is strange. It's not. Never mind. What we're getting at here is that most other countries don't even consider frying a lot of the things that we have decided to. And whether that's a lack of adventurous spirit, a consciousness about one's health, or just an aversion to all of the nasty greasiness that comes from deep frying anything and everything, they don't do it, and they think we're bizarre. Are any of you foreigners watching grossed or weirded out enough yet? Are any of you Americans considering a lifestyle change? Were any of you entertained by this list of weird things that the citizens of the United States do? If so, do us a favor and hit the like button, comment down below, and let us know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to keep watching for excellent videos from our channel every few days.